What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Ahead of next week's launch of Black Ops 6, Activision has come out and commented on the frustration surrounding the anti-cheat systems that Call of Duty has implemented. More specifically, Team Ricochet, this dark cloud that overhangs the entire Call of Duty community, as the community is just fed up with the current state of affairs, the lack of execution and competency of Team Ricochet. And this is something we've commented on several times throughout this year and last. It's just a straight up disappointment. So what they're trying to do is trying to build some faith, build some trust with the community by coming out and making some comments regarding Team Ricochet for Black Ops 6. So let's look at this statement. I got this from Charlie Intel. Activision on the fan frustration with anti-cheat in Call of Duty. We can't tell you cheaters will disappear forever because of the tech we're preparing for launch, but everyone at Team Ricochet will use every tool we can to keep fighting to deliver a fair and fun experience for you. And if the right tool doesn't exist, we'll make it ourselves. Anti-cheat is a constant effort, and we are always working to stop and thwart the efforts of cheaters. It's an effort we're deeply committed to through and through. Now I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be completely honest. This just sounds like PR jargon BS to me. I understand that you can say these things, but none of this has been put into action. And yes, things are going to change for Black Ops 6, which we'll touch on in a second. But I haven't played Black Ops 6 under the new anti-cheat system that they've implemented. As it stands right now, the only proof I have is what has happened over the last several years since Ricochet has been implemented. And I'm sorry, the track record isn't very good. So I don't have a lot of confidence that you've been able to figure out the solution to the cheater problem in Call of Duty. I mean, one of the solutions is being a little bit more fierce with lawsuits to those that are creating the cheats. But apparently, that's a non-starter. Apparently, what you'd rather do is put a bunch of resources into stopping cheaters and having detection systems that don't really work and systems that ban legitimate players. Yeah, that's right. And this is where I kind of lose any faith I have in Ricochet. They want to talk about how much more AI they're implementing into Team Ricochet for Black Ops 6, but this is the same AI that banned a small number of legitimate players. This was from Call of Duty updates a couple days ago. Ricochet Anti-Cheat identified and disabled a workaround to a detection system in MW3 and Call of Duty Warzone that impacted a small number of legitimate player accounts. We have restored all accounts that were impacted, and an examination of our systems was conducted for safety and monitoring will continue. The takeaway I have from that is we're so incompetent and inept that we were banning legitimate accounts because we cannot trust our own systems. And these systems are the same ones that we're going to be relying on to provide improved detection for Black Ops 6? Seriously? And this is why I say there's no trust, there's no faith, there's no confidence in Call of Duty's anti-cheat, is because we end up with situations like that. Meanwhile, the entire ranked leaderboard for Modern Warfare 3 is plagued by cheaters. But no consequences, no recourse, no way of preventing that, right? And then you have people leaving Warzone every single day because, hey, more cheaters are infiltrating that than ever. Because it feels like Team Ricochet has just kind of given up with MW3 right now, and they're just moving on to Black Ops 6. And what really gets me is anytime skill-based matchmaking is brought up or EOMM is brought up, the conversation around player retention is always mentioned. Wouldn't a competent anti-cheat system also retain players? Shouldn't this be like one of the top priorities over at Activision? But it feels like it's at the bottom of the list. At least that's how it feels. They never seem to want to mitigate it. They just want to pat themselves on the back every 2 to 3 months that they were able to ban X amount of accounts. But those accounts just pop right back up. And they cheat again because you do nothing to take out the source of the problem. You're just trying to deal with a few symptoms of the problem. And the worst part is, Black Ops 6 is going to have a bigger problem because it's available on Xbox's Game Pass day one, which is going to inflate the player count, which is going to inflate the number of people that will possibly cheat because now the barrier of entry is lower, and if your systems don't work properly, oh boy, it's going to be a haven for cheaters, as we saw during the beta. There was a bunch of cheaters cheating on the beta. And yeah, there were a few tweaks here and there, but it was still a problem. Like, that's embarrassing, if you ask me. So what is being updated for Black Ops 6's launch when it comes to the anti-cheat? An updated version of the kernel level driver. All features in October 25th update will protect any title that uses the driver, including Call of Duty Warzone. All mitigations, including damage shield, disarm, splat, hallucinations, and others, will be live. Okay, they were live for MW3. This doesn't sound like an improvement, but okay, nonetheless. New machine learning behavioral systems focused on speed of detection. New machine learning detection models to analyze gameplay to combat aimbots. And upgrades when ranked play launches, which include continuous examinations to determine if leaderboard placement are accurate. More on ranked play updates in a future blog closer to the mode's launch. For Call of Duty Warzone specifically, we've deployed new mitigations to interrupt cheaters. Stay tuned for a future report to learn about those new tricks. So all that I read here is it's more of the same. Yes, there's new machine learning systems that are going to be put into place and implemented. So maybe things are going to get better. But if I have to look at the track record of the anti-cheat systems in Call of Duty, I'm not instilled with a bunch of confidence. I'm not instilled with the faith that they are going to get this right. And this shouldn't be as big of a conversation as it is. But here we are. Something I've talked about many times whenever cheaters come up on this channel is that Call of Duty has the opportunity and the resources to become a leader in anti-cheat systems. They could be the industry leader, be the top of the top, but they choose to trail behind games like Valorant, who have a much more intrusive anti-cheat system, but at least it works. It mitigates cheaters better than Call of Duty does. It's an actual joke how little they seem to care about punishing the cheaters and punishing the suppliers of the cheats. It's mind-blowing, really. But it all comes back to them not really caring about the overall experience they give to their player base. At least that's how it feels from my end. It feels like they couldn't care less. They'd rather just churn out more cosmetics and churn out more nonsense into the game instead of actually fixing the game's core issues, and one of them being the cheaters. But maybe this whole rant and me getting up in a tizzy is all for naught. Maybe when October 25th rolls around and Black Ops 6 releases, we see one of the most robust anti-cheat systems ever. They actually do become a leader in the anti-cheat space for this industry. That's what I'd love to see happen. But again, it's not October 25th yet. It's a week away. All I have to go off of is what I've currently experienced myself. So that's what I'm going to leave you with here today. Those are my thoughts and my takes on the current state of Ricochet anti-cheat in Call of Duty. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.